There is a totally horrible ex-actress who's been fired by all of her representatives named Susan Sarandon. She's a big liar. She doesn't care to know the truth. We're going to tell you what she said last week. There's a formerly famous actress who is well past her career time. She's been fired by all of her representatives because of her insane activities. I'm talking about Susan Sarandon. She was confronted by social media activists in a video 4 days ago. And in this video, she's denying that Hamas committed any October 7th atrocities. You heard me right. She said that the ceasefire that Hamas ended on October 7th did not include any atrocities. She said this, it's on video, even though there are hundreds of videos posted showing the murders of men, women, children, babies, old, young, slaughtering their dogs, burning them alive, beating them to death, dragging them through the streets until they were unrecognizable, and on and on and on. And this actress has the audacity to say it never happened. When they confront her, what she says is, repeatedly, I might add, that's Susan Sarandon, famous actress. What she says is, well, 35,000 have been killed in Gaza, and that's a made-up number by the Hamas Ministry of Health, even though Israel and numerous human rights organizations have asked for the list and they can come up with maybe 10,000 names. Israel says they've killed at least 10,000 terrorists. So it's unknown how many have died, and I'm not saying it lightly, but the fact of the matter is, until Hamas is eliminated, every single one of them, or they surrender, it will not stop. And Susan Sarandon, there's a place down there reserved for you. She said, Hamas won't stop fighting because no one will offer them a good peace deal. There is a good peace deal. Surrender and release the hostages and the fighting stops tomorrow. It stops today if they did it. But they fired rockets yesterday and this morning into Israel from Rafah. They also fired rockets yesterday at the pier the United States troops are building to bring in supplies. And Tuesday, 2 days ago, they fired rockets at the crossing, bringing in the trucks, and they hit aid workers and killed the soldiers that were bringing the trucks in. But Susan Sarandon, the licensed idiot, is intentionally uninformed about that. May she never, ever, ever make another movie, and may nobody ever support her ever again. She's a vile human being.
Well, she probably will, and Hollywood's going to support her because Hollywood feels the same way. Nuttywood. These people are evil. Barry, I've seen so many memes and so many videos where they're trying to say that Israel on October 7th never actually happened. And it said, and then there's also the memes going across where they're saying that Israel knew that the attack was going to happen. I'm pretty sure you've heard this propaganda, right? Israel knew the attack was going to happen. They did nothing to prevent it because they wanted to go in and do genocide, which is a bunch of BS as well. It doesn't make sense for this to be the case because if that was the case, Israel, all they had to do, Barry, was cut off the power. Stupid people had no idea that Israel was supplying them power. Stupid people in the world have no idea that they were supplying water. Yes, and that's my point.
The food comes from Israel. The water comes from Israel. The power comes from Israel.
Yes, and they were supplying it for free. I learned this from you. So these stupid people out there that's constantly saying that, talking about like this, all Israel had to do, Barry, was just cut off the electricity and cut off the power and cut off the water, cut off the food supply. They could have just cut it all off. And then you hear them screaming, oh my goodness, the people in the Gaza Strip is in an open air prison. I mean, really? That's the one that really get me, Barry. This one really gets me. Open air prison.
They call it the largest concentration camp in the world. And it's occupied territory. There hasn't been a Jew in Gaza since 2006 when they were all forcefully evicted by the Prime Minister Aric Sharon, sorry, and they even dug up the cemetery so there'd be no Jews in Gaza. And then when Hamas took over, they bulldozed the factories that Israel gave them.
Wow.
To make them an independent economic power. Literally, they
Wow.
bulldozed the synagogues. They blew up the buildings, all the agriculture, because they didn't want it to be tainted by the Jews. And then they ran bulldozers over what was left of the cemeteries.
So if it's an open air prison, Barry, and every time I hear them say this, I want to ask them the question: if it's an open air prison, you mean to tell me that they were able to sneak rockets in, but you can't sneak people out? Because if it's a prison, people want to get out of a prison. I don't care who you are.
The rockets, etc., have all come in through the tunnels crossing the Philadelphia corridor, which Israel has now occupied. And for the first time, now no more weapons are coming in.
Exactly. So for her to make that statement, I would love to see the expression on her face when she finds out the truth.